Hey Scorpios, welcome to Taryn Hill. Welcome to the place where we empower the high vibers. I hope all is well. Luck here. All right, welcome to your end of the year reading. I don't know if I'm back, but I'm here for right now. Okay, I hope y'all enjoy. Happy New Year, happy holidays. Let's get into it. I come to you humbly, God, thanking you for your divine guidance. I come to you humbly, thank you for your divine guidance, providing messages of divine light, divine love, in accordance with your divine will. What is it that the Scorpio collective needs to know? As you saw, this Two of Wands just spilled out, okay? Like this, what you need to know. Make a plan. Make a plan here. I'm getting secret plans, all right, with this Two of Wands coming through. Protect your plans is what I'm getting as well. Like, keep it low key. You don't have to tell people what you have cooking. If you're trying to manifest something, it's probably in your best interest to not really speak about what you want to manifest. All right. Now, I know sometimes people don't want to talk about it simply because if somebody says something, then it might throw you off your game. This is more than that. Like, sometimes someone doesn't have to say anything. You can tell someone your plan and they might even give you words of encouragement. But if their energy is off, they can actually throw some shade on that, throw some salt on your game. So it's something about that. Even if you feel like, oh, I can trust people to talk about these plans, just keep it to yourself, okay? It just feels like there's some shadowy energy around you where it might not be shadowy towards you in general, but if you have a specific plan, it might inspire envy and jealousy, okay? Okay. So just keep it to yourself. It could be from someone who never showed up as jealous or envious, but they could show up once you tell them this plan. All right, so just be mindful of that. Keep it to yourself right now. Okay. We starting off juicy already. Yeah, we have the Eight of Wands coming through. Also, make sure that you're not... Okay, you're going to have to protect your plans from yourself and from others, okay? So we already talked about others and how they could be throwing salt on your game. But as far as protecting your plans from yourself, you're going to have to check yourself when you have these negative... this negative self-talk moment. Some of you guys might be struggling with that, with doubt. All right. Have, okay. Plans. Okay. So in regards to your plans, you might have a plan, something that you're manifesting, something that you want to come into fruition, something that you might see is already kind of trickling in. You might see signs of this manifestation. Now, there's another plan that needs to be had. A plan to be had to stop you from sabotaging this plan from happening. That's what I'm getting there. So this plan on the side here is a fail-safe for yourself. It's like, okay, I'm working on this plan. I don't want anyone from any external influences getting in the way. Now, as far as my internal influences, I have a plan for that. So anytime I feel doubt, I'm going to say this affirmation or these list of affirmations. Or for preventative action, I'm going to just say these affirmations every morning to reprogram my mind. So I'm getting there's a bigger plan, and then there's plans to make sure that this plan stays on track. Okay, if that makes sense. All right. This is about protecting your manifestation. That's what I'm getting here. This could be something you're very passionate about with the Queen of Pentacles coming through. This is something that it's going to require you to grow outside of yourself. All right. In order for you to get this thing that's outside of your current reality, you have to be a different version of yourself. And I think this smaller plan over here with the affirmations and reprogramming your mind, that is going to be the fuel that rockets you into that new reality. Okay. We have the Knight of Swords here. See, this energy here is coming through. You see his, he has a sword and he's like, he shoved it down his throat. For this, I feel like eating your words, like watching your words, okay? Certain things like, back to the negative self-talk, like kind of negating that negative self-talk, learning how to nip that in a bud before it spirals into a thought process. Okay, it's one thing if you have an intrusive thought of, oh man, I'm trash, I suck, right? It's one thing if you say that. It's another thing if it continues, and now this is a continued thought that now becomes a belief. Now, for some of you, this intrusive thought or this negative self-talk or this doubt, this is already a belief system that you have, and it's time to actually rectify it and replace it with a belief of self-confidence. Okay, yeah. Get on your shit. I think there's a little bit of cockiness that actually needs to be had here, to be very honest with you. I mean, the word cocky it's subjective and it comes with negative connotations, but I feel like you really need to push through harder than you ever have to override this doubt that you have been carrying for a while. I feel like this has been a cycle of self-doubt. This has been a cycle of feeling insecure and not feeling confident. No matter how you showed up in the world, I feel like there has been internally a struggle of confidence here. And it's time to deal with that. Like, deal with the internal mental chatter here once and for all. Because people can speak life into you all day, but if this is your energy and you out here just talking trash to yourself all day, what does it matter what other people say, right? Oh, a lot of cards coming out. We have the Page of Wands. Let me bring this down a little bit. All right, so we have the Page of Wands. We have the Hangman coming through and the Five of Cups. Yeah, I think there's a realization of how your negative self-talk how it definitely has affected your life, all right? It stopped you from moving forward in certain things, or it caused you to sabotage certain situations, whether it's in love, whether it's a career, whatever the case is. What I'm seeing here, though, it seems like with this Queen of Pentacles, I feel like there's an upgrade. You want to see better. You feel like you deserve more out of life. And I don't think it's just about love. I think it really is about, your financial standing or your status in the world, how you show up. It seems like there's this urge to be more impressive in the world, in accordance with your vision of yourself, right? I'm not seeing this comparison to other people. I'm seeing it's just a comparison to who you want to be and who you currently are. And that might be causing this negative self-talk because it's not aligned with who you think you should be. I'm not saying release that vision. What we're talking about here is aligning your thoughts so that you can achieve that vision. All right. Okay. Yep. That's just about elevating growth. Okay. Moving forward. So with the Five of Cups, there's a little bit of I just get a feeling of some beating up on yourself here, okay? It's unnecessary. I mean, it's going to happen where you have this realization like, oh my God, I've been talking shit to myself all day, every day. I've been sabotaging myself because I didn't believe in myself. Then you're going to have this moment of feeling trash about yourself. Like, oh my gosh, how much time did I waste talking trash to myself? I could have been did this. I could have been had that. Okay. Don't dwell in that, please, because now that's leading into another spiral of self-doubt, okay? And then you fall right back into that same trick, that same trap the mental trap that you put yourself in typically, where you're talking down to yourself. You instead, when this moment happens, when you have this new perspective and you have this new realization as to how you've been sabotaging yourself, be like, okay, shit, well, I'm grateful. I'm so thankful and grateful that this has been highlighted to me. So now I can finally make a change. Before I couldn't see it. I was blind, but baby, now I can see. Hallelujah. Let's go. Now I know what I need to do moving forward. So when you get some things highlighted to you as to how you sabotage yourself, rather than beating up on yourself, it is time to be grateful that it has actually been highlighted. Okay. And move forward. Now you know better. You do better. Okay, baby. Okay. And that Page of Wands here that's coming out with like this a little baby step of moving forward in the right direction. Like, oh, this is highlighted to me. It could come through as an intuitive hit or whatever the case is. It does feel like that. It's just some type of intuitive hit that comes through where you're just like, I've been sabotaging myself, and this is how. And I feel like this is a key element that has been missing for a really long time. So no need to waste time like being sad about not seeing that before. Now it's time to get into the action, get into the mode, get into the zone, fix and course correct now. All right, that's what I'm getting here. Okay, what else? Some of you guys, you're going for a new thing. Okay, here we are with this, look at this energy. Look at this, goddamn. Look at this energy here. Let's make sure we don't spiral into this, okay? Because that's what's coming through here. You're wasting time if you're sitting here. I don't know where you're at in the storyline. Everybody's going to be different. Some people have not gotten to this place yet. Some people are in the middle of this place of this self-pity, this moment of beating up on themselves because of the time wasted. Okay. Some of you guys are worrying about time wasted. And I don't want to sound cliche, but, you know, whatever, divine timing. The reason why you're getting this hit is because it's time. The reason why this is highlighted to you now is because it's time to elevate. It wasn't time to elevate before. In the last chapter, it was time for you to experience those past experiences. Now it's time for you to experience this elevated mode of being. That's it. So it's no need to beat up on yourself about it. You are right on time. It's time now. So now that it's time to elevate, what you going to do? Are you going to sit here? If you stay in this again, now that's on you, okay? Because now you know what you've been doing. You know that you tend to go into this mode here of beating up on yourself. So now that you know that, are you going to just do the same thing again? No. Now that you know that this is something that you do and it's been highlighted to you, now when it comes up, you have to come up with that little plan on the side here. Okay, well, if that's what I do, I didn't realize that. If that's what I do and I'm triggered by this, now I know if I'm triggered by a perceived failure, moving forward, I'm going to have these affirmations ready. I'm going to have these tools ready, or I'm going to, get an emergency appointment with my therapist, whatever it is, okay? There needs to be a plan on the side to change this habit of beating up on yourself when things don't go right, okay? Also beating up yourself so that things don't go right. So this is self-fulfilling prophecy. Beating up on yourself so things, and it sabotages things so it doesn't go right. And then it's beating up on yourself because things didn't go right because of your beating up on yourself. If that makes sense. All right. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Ultimately, this is it needs to be a new way of looking at yourself. There needs to be more optimism, more confidence, more blind confidence. I know you've seen people in this world who are very confident, and it's just like, what are you backing this up with? Nothing. There's a lot of people in the world who are super talented, but no confidence, right? And it's just like, oh, you should have the confidence of that person who has no talent, right? So it's like that energy. There's a need for you to pull from that blind confidence, even if you don't feel like you should have it, all right? There's a need to just be your biggest cheerleader. All right. We tapping into Tony Robbins, Lucky Robbins up in this, okay? Y'all need a little pep talk. Okay, here we are with the Judgment card coming through in the Knight of Wands. The Judgment card coming through. Some of you guys, what stops you from moving forward is that you need to know all the pieces of the puzzle. With the Judgment card, some of you guys, you need to understand that you need to know that it's a win before you move forward. People who move successfully take risks. You know, they take risks from time to time, and you need to be more of a risk taker, ultimately. All right. Without knowing that it will work or that it won't work. Do it for the journey. Do it for the plot. Okay. Do it for the character development. All right. But you can't sit here and be in analysis paralysis and then let something pass you by. It seems like that is happening here, and that realization that time has been passing you by because of fear or analysis paralysis or talking down on yourself or sabotage or something like that is actually whatever it is keeping you in one place. All right. It's time to move. Pull out the rest of the cards here. King of Swords. Okay, so I'm getting this clarity. Okay. All right, so this is what I wanted to say earlier. Some of you guys, there's a new opportunity that's coming about, and you're realizing now. It highlighted this thing that you do that stops you from moving forward. We have the King and the Queen of Swords coming through. This King and the Queen coming through here. It's showing that you have to use your mind in a way that you haven't used it before. You used it in a way where it was a limitation to how you use your mind. Some of it worked for you and some of it didn't. A lot of it was protecting you from being hurt or feeling that fear of failure, feeling the failure, feeling the pain of failure, or whatever the case is. And it's time to use your mind to push yourself to be your biggest cheerleader. Your mind was a bit overly protective of you having experiences that might lead to failure. There's a need to pull in this new mindset, this new way of using your mind, where now instead of your mind being overly protective, it is boosting you instead. Use your mind to boost you, to build up your confidence within you. Instead of your mind, when you're going for a new thing, instead of your mind going towards the things of, okay, well, this could go wrong, that could go wrong. What if this happens? What if that's wrong? Instead of that, your mind needs to start moving like, well, what if this actually works? Well, I did this before in this way. Maybe I could try it this way. Well, I overcame this hurdle last time. I know I have the skills. I know I have the gusto to actually go for it this time. Like, there's a way of using your mind that needs to be shifted here so that you can move forward. Some of you guys, as I mentioned, okay, there is a new project, a new idea, a new career path, a new something. There's a new something that is coming about and is triggering this and is highlighting this thing that you always do. And it's requiring you to be more confident within yourself. And now you have to fight that. You have to fight your inner hater and build up your inner cheerleader. Right now, your inner hater has been stronger because it's been flexed. That muscle has been flexed more. So it's time to flex the muscle of your inner cheerleader. Okay. There's clearly something that you have in mind that you really want to manifest, and it will upgrade your life. Now we have that Temperance card coming out in reverse with the Page of Pentacles. There's a lot of moving parts here. Okay. All right. There's a lot of moving parts here. Don't forget about your intuition on top of that. Okay. Because once you come to this realization, like, oh, I usually talk myself out of things and I move into analysis paralysis and I just stand still and stagnant. Some of you guys, because you realize that you were the reason why you were stagnant, you might try to force yourself out of a situation. Do not forget the divine timing. Do not forget the element of intuition and knowing when to stop and when to go. Sometimes you stop because your intuition is telling you to stop and you're correct. Sometimes you stop because your fear is paralyzing you. It is time for you to use discretion and learn the difference there. Once you come into this realization of stagnation, it seems like you'll be tempted to just move forward and try to force things to happen. And then you forget the lessons that you have about intuition. Like, don't do that. Still use your discretion. Sometimes you do have to pause. Okay. That's why we have to have that little plan on the side here of when I'm going for something, when I'm trying to manifest this big thing, I have to have my little toolbox to take care of myself, to manage my mind, to make sure I'm moving when I'm supposed to move or pausing when I'm supposed to pause, that I'm making the right moves in divine alignment and divine timing. All right? So it might be a little bit of confusion here. Like if you feel like a pause, you're like, well, maybe I'm pausing right now because I'm sabotaging myself again. And it's no. I really feel like if you're having this moment to pause, be quiet and be stagnant, and you might feel stagnant, but that's not the case. But if you're feeling the need to just stop and stop taking action, this is divine timing. It is not you stopping yourself. But this is going to be a process here because you are stepping into this new way of being. It is going to be hard to differentiate. When am I pausing because of divine timing and intuition? And when am I pausing because of my, because I'm actually sabotaging myself? Sometimes you might have stopped doing things or you sabotage a situation and you thought it was intuitive guidance. There's some confusion that's happening there. That is going to be a process for you. That's not something that's going to be fixed overnight. So it's fine. All right. But ultimately right now, there's a need to pause and reflect on this, come up with your tools, your mental tools for and contingency plans for when you get triggered, so that you can handle that. Make sure that you're grounded, make sure that you're in alignment so that you can handle this manifestation as it comes in. So right now you are supposed to pause. Okay. Until it's time to move. You're intuitive. You know when it's time to move. You will know when it's time to move. A little bit of panic might be settling in because you're looking at the time that has allegedly passed. This regret and feeling like you missed out on a lot of time, it might trigger you to just start doing things because you're trying to make up for lost times. Do not forget your intuition. Do not forget your intuitive guidance, okay? All right. We're going to go into the blockages, what you're feeling to see, and overall advice. Let's get into what this pertains to in general. I feel like this has to do with some type of career path. It just feels like you and your goals. That's really what's on the forefront here. It's like new year, new me. How can I do things differently? And that's what's being highlighted here. How to move differently so you can get the things that you want. And the fact that this is being highlighted, you should be very excited about that. I just want to highlight this. The fact that this is being highlighted, what has been stopping you all this time, that means that it is time for you to actually have the thing that you want. Because now you have a key element as to what was stopping you before. You didn't know that before. Like it's something like that. Like you didn't have the tools to handle it before. And now you do. Okay? There's a need to have some mental tools, mental and emotional tools here to upgrade your mind, upgrade your thoughts, set intentions. Intention. What's your intention for how you want to show up for yourself? Not in this world. How do you want to show up for yourself? And be honest about how you have been showing up for yourself before. Okay? All right. What's the blockage? This is very empowering. That Ace of Wands coming through, baby. You really want this. You really, really want this. It's because it's something that you really want. You want this so bad. That's why it's turning the tides. This is why the blockages are being highlighted now. You manifested a solution. The solution has always been there, right? The solution was to stop sabotaging yourself, but you didn't know how to do it or you weren't aware that you were sabotaging. But now, because it's something that you want that bad, now it's forcing you to see what you've been doing to stop having it. Some of you guys, you didn't want something as bad before. I'm gonna keep it real. That's what it feels like. You might have half-assed wanted something, but at this point, it seems like it's something that you want so bad that is pushing you to be a new person. All right. So we have the Six of Swords coming through. We have the Five of Pentacles coming through. Now you have to battle this old person or this current version of yourself that you are that's no longer serving you. This is a major ego death. This is going to be beautiful. In this new chapter, you will be a more confident version of yourself because you have to be to get this thing that you want that bad. In this new version, you're going to have to be more in control of your mindset. You're going to have to be more disciplined in your thought process because you want this thing so bad. And now you realize that's the price you have to pay to get this thing. I love it. Now, obviously, there's a choice here. You have a choice to go on and make these changes, right? But have your toolbox, right? This is what therapy is good for that, or even life coaches are good for that, helping you find tools, or even self-help books, all right? But finding tools, practical tools to use your mind in the best optimal way. Okay, that's what we're talking about here so that you can get this. Because this Ace of Wands just keep popping up. This is something you can't let go of. You really want this upgrade. You didn't ask hard enough before, but you're asking hard enough now. And also, it's time for you to have this. It's time for you to have this. And now the divine is like, okay, yep, it's time now. But this is what you have to do in order to get this. All right? What are they failing to see? If there's going to be any takeaway here, you didn't waste time, okay? You had to experience what you had to experience, and certain things were hidden from you because it wasn't time for it to be revealed. Now this blockage of yours has now been revealed in perfect timing. It's time now for it to be revealed. So what will you do with it now? Do not dwell on the fact of time being wasted, because it wasn't. Everything that you experienced up until this point was supposed to happen exactly how it is. Things have cleared out. You were protected from certain things. You couldn't have this before now. You couldn't have this before this time. So it's no need dwelling on time wasted any longer. Okay? Get out of that as soon as you can. It does seem like that thought will be there. Get out of that as soon as you can. If there's anything you take away from this, divine timing is at play. And now it's time to have what's yours and to have what you've been asking for. All right? Okay. All right. I just felt like I had to get that out. What are they failing to see? We have the Three of Cups coming out. It's coming out sideways there. Yeah, obviously, this is a Fool energy for sure. Full shizzle. And the Page of Swords. Now, in the Chariot, some of you guys, it's the people, okay? Certain people are not enabling the good side of you, all right? With this new, more confident version of yourself, you're going to realize that certain people are not aligned with that new, confident version of yourself. They ain't going to like it, all right? So be mindful of that. Some of you guys, your social circle, family group, friends group, coworker group, they will not, they liked your insecure sabotage version, okay? They were aligned with that. So you're going to fall out of alignment with people in pursuit of this thing. You want it that bad, and now you're going to see what you have to drop off internally as well as externally, because you're going to grow out of your circle. All right. This is an unfolding. As I mentioned, it's not something that happens overnight. This is a process. So it's an unfolding that will happen over the course of this year, right? This upcoming year, 2024. So allow for that process to happen. Allow for divine timing. Just allow for the processing, the internal processing right now, because it doesn't look like you have to do or force anything. Because you are in divine timing, things are going to flow. The experiences that you need to have are going to flow. The people in your environment that need to be highlighted, like, hey, time to get them out, it's going to happen naturally. You don't have to check for anything. You don't have to start testing people like they're going to reveal themselves, because you are in flow. And the universe is on board with whatever it is that you're manifesting. That's another thing to be confident about. And that's why you should just be able to chill out, because the universe is on board with whatever it is that you're manifesting. This upgrade that you've been asking for, the universe is on board with it. They want this to happen. So now they're going to bring the elements in to make it happen. Any changes that need to be had, just do those changes. As it comes up, clear it out. As a change is offered, do the change. Okay? That's all. Okay, so this is just talking about growing out of your environment and growing out of people around you. That's what you're failing to see there. You're not realizing that the pursuit of this is causing this, the breakup of, why does communication want to come out? Breakdown of communication? That doesn't make sense, but whatever. But that's what want to come up. But you're going to realize that you're not, once you start really pursuing this and you realize, oh, I need to start speaking to myself differently. I need to start thinking differently or being more confident. It's something like the people around you, you won't feel like you two are speaking the same language anymore. Okay? Because before you were probably you were in this vibrational mode of, I'm not good enough. Okay? That's what causes self-sabotage, right? And so you were speaking from that vibrational mode. From that point of attraction, you were meeting people who vibed with that as well, who would be okay with you speaking in that vibration. But once you get out of that vibration and you shift to this vibration, now it's like they're not going to understand what you're talking about from this new point of attraction, from this vibrational mode. So it's something like, there's a lot of misunderstandings that might come up. I just feel like it's going to be a lot of miscommunications that happen and misunderstandings that's going to cause like, oh, this connection is breaking down. That's what I'm getting there. Okay. I don't know why that detail came up, but it's something about the communication. But I think that is a signal to you. That's a signal to you that your vibration is changing. If you were able to talk on the phone with someone or text with them all day, every day, or they would y'all send memes back and forth all day, every day, and then out of nowhere, you're just like, why are you sending me this? Or I don't want to talk to you anymore. Things like that. That is a signal that your vibration is shifting in this time. And it's all because you asked really hard for this manifestation. So people who are not a vibrational match of this are going to start feeling foreign to you. Okay. What's the advice? That is coming up as what you're feeling. See, I think it's going to be kind of jarring. I don't see it coming out as like an argument. I don't see it like people hating on you or anything like that. It just feels like a growing apart. It just feels like a very organic, wow, we don't really have that much in common anymore. Or I'm really trying to stomach this conversation. Like, I used to love talking to you. Now I don't. Like, it's just going to have like a very organic knowingness. Like, all right, we're no longer this close, All right. What's the advice? Five of Wands coming through with the Four of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. Okay. So when the fading out of your old reality starts to happen, when you start growing out of your reality, it starts to become obvious, honest. Oh my God, these words are just slipping out. Okay, when it starts to become honest, whatever that means, when you become honest to you. Okay, so there might be some denial about this, where you're trying to hold on to these connections when you realize like, oh, we're just not that compatible anymore. There's going to be some type of resistance towards that. And it's going to be a moment where you have to be honest with yourself. Again, this is coming out over the course of, probably the next couple of months. Okay. But anyway, so we have the Five of Wands coming through. When that happens, when you realize that you're growing out of people and relationships, and you finally get over it and you're able to become honest about it, close the door and let it go. The less resistance, the better. This is coming out to let you know, because the resistance will just hold off this Ace of Wands, this manifestation. Because when people start fading out and you start growing out of situations or growing out of people or growing out your job or whatever the case is, if you resist it, you're not, well, for one, when that happens, you're not realizing in that moment that you're growing out of this situation. It has everything to do with you moving closer to this manifestation. Because that might not be clear, there might be resistance to things changing in your life, not realizing the changes are so this can come closer to you. The less resistance, the better. Once you start seeing shifts in your life, once you start seeing people are just naturally falling out, or people are starting to naturally come in, you're gravitating to other people. But I feel like that might be easier to accept if you're gravitating towards more people. The resistance comes in when you feel like you're falling out with people. When you start feeling this discomfort or this less of a resonance with people and their conversations, or the job, and it just no longer feels good. Accept that and understand, oh my gosh, give thanks actually. Be grateful, have gratitude. Like, oh wow, my manifestation is coming. Something is shifting. The energy is shifting in the air, and it's all because I asked for this. So when these changes are happening, embrace it. Embrace it as a mini manifestation along to your big manifestation, okay? The less resistance, the better. Ultimately, you are growing out of things. You're growing out of your own mindset, and you're stepping into a new one. All because of this one thing that is so strong. This desire is so strong that it's about to change everything around you, and it's about to change you internally, okay? Allow for the changes to happen internally as well. If you find yourself wanting to be more confident or more bold, please allow for that as well. Don't be resistant to being more bold. You might feel weird about it, okay? With that Fool card, I feel like you might feel weird about these new changes internally. Maybe you want to have a bold new hairstyle, okay? Maybe you want to dress in a different way. You know, these things can also cause resistance because now you're growing out of how you usually showed up in the world, okay? So when it comes to resistance to internal change and resistance as far as the people growing out of your life, and then you growing out of yourself, please just allow for things to flow. Don't fight it. Okay, it's all for this bigger picture of this grand plan that you're actually asking for. But because you can't see how one thing affects the other, you might end up sabotaging because you're resisting. Okay, so no sabotaging, go with the flow, allow for the changes. When you see these changes happen, give thanks because it is a mini manifestation towards your bigger manifestation. Amen. All right now. All right, this is the end of that pep talk. This is a motivational speaker moment, okay? All right, let me know what you think. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Oh, another thing, when you let this thing go, when you start growing out of things and you let it go, keep it out of your reality. Don't bring it back. Okay. All right, let me know what you think. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. I mean, IG Taryn Hill. Till we meet again. Peace.